This is Barrie Speedway, set in the heart of Ontario's stock car country. Today, this quarter-mile oval plays host to the Molson Superbowl of Midget Racing, presented by Burma Castrol Canada. This international event for three-quarter midget autos has attracted entrants from the United States and Canada as they battle it out for the starting spots. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the world of TQ, or three-quarter midget car racing. I'm Bill Inkall, and yes, I guess you could say that these cars are small in comparison to late-model stock cars or NASCAR designs, but boy, can they go fast. Now, just imagine yourself going at 120 miles an hour in this open-wheeled race car. The history of midget racing goes back a long way to the early days of racing on wooden boards, cinders, and dirt. And it was a starting point for A.J. Foyt and John Cott, those great names that got their racing skills on local tracks just like owner Alan Blight's Barrie Speedway. One of Canada's best-known names in racing got his start in cars just like these, and I refer to my good friend Craig Hill. Craig, what's the magic of racing in these midget cars?
Well, the magic for me, of course, Bill, is the close-wheel competition, the speed of these cars. And I guess it's like the Saturday night special. Everybody gets out there and they go racing. I grew up in these kinds of cars, and here I am 32 years later having gone full circle and back in them again, and I just love them because it's the wheel-to-wheel action, the quickness of how you can move around in the track, and when you see a hole, you got to get in it. And it's just wide-open competition all the time. And this is the grassroots of North American motorsport, and I just love it.
Well, good luck to you. I know you're going to be racing this afternoon, and hey, stay off the walls, will you?
Thanks very much, Bill. I'll do the best I can.
I say stay off the walls because we've mounted a camera in Craig's car, and you'll be able to see the racing action unfold all around him. And hopefully we'll be able to talk to him during the race when those yellow caution flags come out. Also with me this afternoon, and I'll be talking with him throughout the race, is Dizzy Dean. Diz, you've been involved with three-quarter midget racing for a long, long time. Who should our audience look out for this afternoon?
Well, it's going to be a real international flavor. On the pole from Mississauga, we have the current point leader, Davey McKnight, who set a new track record here at Barrie in the time of 15.24. On the outside pole from Trenton, New Jersey, we have Bruce Jones, who is running a 500cc Polaris. It has all the means for a real exciting race here this afternoon, Bill.
Thanks very much, Diz. And in just a moment, we'll have lots of racing action for you. Several heats leading up to the 50-lap final, and it's coming to you from the Barrie Speedway in Ontario. Welcome back to Barrie Speedway for the Molson Superbowl of Midget Racing. I'm Bill Inkall, and with me this afternoon is Dizzy Dean Murray. This truly is a Super Bowl, Dizzy, because we have some of the best TQ midget racers that are regulars on the Can-Am Midget Club circuit here today.
You're right, Bill, and there are the trophies that will be awarded along with a cash purse at the various races here at Barrie Speedway today.
Okay, if I might run through our menu, so to speak, of TQ racing on this telecast, the first event is a heat race, and the top three drivers will automatically win a spot in the 50-lap feature to be run later in the program.
And there's a starting lineup for the 10-lapper. Number 9, Bill Macy's on the pole, followed by Brian Christ, Hugh Funston, Bill Crawford, and on the third row is number 47, Tim Adams, John Pierce, and then number 2, Vince Cristiano, who arrived late up from New Jersey because of his son's wedding.
Okay, here's the start. And number 9, Bill Macy from Buffalo, New York, pulls away from number 17, Brian Christ. Number 77, Hugh Funston. And number 63, Bill Crawford. There's a very important thing. Dizzy, they got away to a good, fast start.
It looks like number 9, Bill Macy, has got it down the straightaway, but number 17, Brian Christ, kind of gets him in the corners in his 820cc Suzuki.
Is this a common thing in this type of racing, Diz, where the field starts to spread out?
Well, Bill, you know, it's only a 10-lap race, and they really don't want to let their competitor get too far ahead of them, so they kind of keep them right on a tight string. And if you really watch car number 17, as he comes out of the corner, he brings that front left tire right up in the air, springs it up.
Take a look at number 2, Vince Cristiano, pushing number 77, Hugh Funston, for third place. And he gets by, going into corner number 2 in this quarter-mile oval.
And you just saw a good shot of number 17 lifting that tire. Watch it. There it is, right there on the screen.
That's Brian Christ, of course. And there goes Cristiano challenging for second spot. This guy is a hard charger. It's no wonder that he's the defending Can-Am champion and the 1984 points leader.
Well, he just scooped up Brian Christ, and now he's in second spot, lining up the leader, Bill Macy.
Oh, no, there's our first casualty. Number 63 is retired. That's Bill Crawford from Toronto with what appears to be a blown engine.
We're back racing again, Bill, with Macy in the lead. And number 2, Vince Cristiano, goes wide and allows Brian Christ to squeeze through on the inside to take that second spot. Number 77, Hugh Funston, is now third.
We spoke to Vince about Dave McKnight as challenger for the 1984 Can-Am title.
Well, his car is lighter and it's faster and it's aerodynamically designed, where he has a wing that works under air pressure that goes down on the straightaways and it goes up in a turn, so he goes through the turns faster. I mean, it's been updated, and it's, you know, he has the latest, you know, ideas in his car, which I haven't had time to change my own, you know.
Well, if Vince can make it up to one of the top 3 spots in this race, he'll meet Dave McKnight in the feature, but he's currently in 4th place behind number 77, Hugh Funston, in the Sun-sponsored Suzuki.
And there's a real battle going on out there between the Canadians and the Americans for those final qualifying spots. Cristiano got himself a little too high there and wasn't quite able to control his car.
And there are the top 3, Macy, Christ, and Funston, followed by Cristiano, Adams, Smeagol, and number 55, Patterson.
And we're coming down to the last lap, coming around out of 3 and 4 down the front chute, and the battle is being set up. Who is going to grab that 3rd spot? Cristiano goes to the inside, and now coming out of number 2, moves to the outside of number 77, Huey Funston. Huey Funston dekes to the inside, Cristiano to the outside. Down between 3 and 4, it's coming down to the checker flag. Who's going to grab that 3rd spot?
It's Cristiano. Cristiano wins the 3rd spot, and there's the final standings, and he won. Bill Macy, Brian Christ, and Vince Cristiano. Hugh Funston has to finish 4th, Tim Adams, Smeagol, and Patterson in that order. So the others will have to find the way in via consolation events. So Macy, Christ, and Cristiano all move up.
The next race at Barrie Speedway is called the Shootout, and in this class there are 6 cars, the 6 fastest drivers from the qualifying session yesterday. All of these entrants have automatically made it into the final Super Bowl race, but this event is to determine who will sit on the pole position for the feature.
And to add to the spectator interest, Harry Macy, the Can-Am Club president, has determined that the fastest driver, that's number 06, Dave McKnight Jr., will start at the back. It makes it very tough for that guy to get through these quick drivers, a kind of handicap system, Diz.
And right from the start, it's number 31, Wayne Turnbull, in the lead, followed by number 23, Bobby Crawford from Burlington. Then number 66, Steve McKnight. And as they power down the back chute, young Stevie McKnight is already pushing for that 2nd place spot.
Well, Diz, his brother, who, as we said, started at the back, is still there. And I'd have to say that he must be playing a waiting game.
Well, as for the rest of the field, they really aren't waiting for anything. They're cranking over 100 miles an hour down the back chute with those 850cc TQ engines.
Listen to them whine. That's all you can hear, that whine of the engine as these drivers just jockey for position. And the order is being determined right now. The order as we see it is Turnbull, Crawford, McKnight, Muncie, Dave McKnight, who has moved into 5th spot, and 9X Bruce Jones from Trenton, New Jersey. Remember, all these cars will go into the feature race. This is to determine their starting order. And I might say that on a quarter-mile oval, if you don't start at the front, then you're in trouble, because these guys race for keeps. Let's find out what 22-year-old Steve McKnight has to say about his first year of racing.
We've been doing pretty good, actually. It's our rookie year, and all my crew's new to this, too, except for my father. He's got a lot of experience. We've won 3 features, been 2nd and 3rd lots of times. We're keeping up with my brother, and he's the hotshot this year. He's the points leader. He's got 8 features now. We've been right on his tail and got by a few times and won a couple. We hope to win the last 2 and maybe get a 5th place in the points. We're 6th now. We'd like to finish in the top 5.
He's a very aggressive young racer, and I guess he's learned his craft well from his dad and his brother. Out in front, number 31, Wayne Turnbull from Paris, Ontario, is in his Suzuki-powered TQ, and right behind him is number 23, Bobby Crawford from Burlington, whose best finish this year was a 2nd place at Sauble Beach. And then there's Dave McKnight, 06. He has moved up to 4th, right behind his brother Stevie. And in 5th is number 22, Jim Muncie, a 35-year-old race driver, sponsored by Ontario Honda. And in 6th is number 9X, Bruce Jones.
We are now coming into the final lap of this race, and there is nobody, I mean nobody, going to take the winning spot from number 31, Wayne Turnbull from Paris. Wayne hasn't won a race this year, so with pole position for the feature race, which is coming up next, he's in the right place to change his 1984 luck, and there he is, and the winner is Wayne Turnbull. And there's the final standings. Wayne Turnbull, Bob Crawford, Steve McKnight, Dave McKnight, Jim Muncie, and Bruce Jones. And I'll tell you, it's a very happy time for him. And there's the winner, receiving the Shamrock Leasing Trophy, a cash prize for that flag-to-flag victory, and a kiss from Miss Barrie Speedway. There's Dick Mahoney, sponsor of the shootout, congratulating the driver, who will sit on the inside front row when we return with more TQ Midget Racing. Welcome back to Barrie Speedway near Barrie, Ontario for the 50-lap TQ Midget Race feature. 22 cars are lined up and ready to go for the winner's laurels this afternoon. That's the starting lineup, and I'm Bill Inkall with Dizzy Dean Murray. On the pole is number 31, Wayne Turnbull from Paris, Ontario, followed by Bob Crawford, Steve McKnight, Jim Muncie, and Bruce Jones. And as we told you at the opening of the show, we've mounted a camera on car number 7, driven by my old buddy Craig Hill, and we hope to get some pictures of the race action from the driver's point of view, maybe even a chance to talk to Craig if there are any yellow caution flags that do come out. Now, here's Diz.
Thank you, Bill. The white flag is out. The cars are crossed over, all lined up in their proper starting order. Number 31, Wayne Turnbull, leading the pack. They're coming out of number 4 now, coming down to the green, and there's the green flag. They're off and racing. It's Turnbull, Crawford, and the two McKnights battling for that 3rd spot.
That's a pretty good start. You can see the cars now. They're trying to jockey around to get advantageous positions so they can move in when the occasion demands it. That's the good thing about TQ Midget Racing. The cars are small. You don't have that much maneuverability, but they still are mobile enough that you can take advantage of any opening. Number 31, Turnbull, number 23, Crawford, number 66, Steve McKnight, 06, Dave McKnight, 9X Jones, 22, Muncie, and 25, John Shirtliff, in that order. And as promised, here's the view coming up from Craig Hill's Oakville Toyota Badger. Now, can you imagine the tremendous amount of vibration as that tachometer reaches 11,500 RPMs, going over 100 miles an hour?
Well, he's slowing down, and that's the reason. We had a crash in corner 4, and the yellow caution flag is out. It's number 79, Dick Mahoney, and Vince Cristiano.
And Mike Muncie is also in there, too. Let's try and establish contact with Craig Hill. Craig, can you hear me?
Yeah, Bill, I can hear you, yeah.
What are the driving conditions like? There seems to be only one good line around this track. Is that right?
Well, the road's a little slippery out here, Bill. I think somebody's dropping some oil, and there's a lot of traffic. I'm working like hell trying to get up front here. It's a little bad, I'll tell you, at the moment. But, well, I don't know. It's the outside line's just a little bit slippery at the moment.
Thanks, Craig. Well, they're getting ready to resume racing here. The green flag is out at Barrie Speedway, and here again is Diz.
And there's a view of the start from Craig's car as Hal Lawrence waves the green flag for the restart of the Molson Superbowl of TQ Midgets. And if you note, Hill's tachometer there at the left of the screen is already above that 10,000 RPM line.
Everyone who wants to live vicariously and be a driver can well imagine that is the action that you're going to be experiencing. So we resume. It's number 31, Turnbull, followed by 23, Crawford, 66, Steve McKnight, Dave McKnight in 06, 9X Bruce Jones, and 22, Jim Muncie. And you can see the others, Shirtliff, Christ, Funston, Cristiano, and Craig Hill running in number 11 spot.
The leader, Wayne Turnbull, in his 820cc Suzuki engine car, doesn't look to be a bit nervous leading that hungry group. Wayne is an ex-late model stock car racer and has had plenty of experience on racetracks here in southern Ontario. But it looks like the battle is developing for that 2nd spot between car number 66, Stevie McKnight, who just dove to the inside, coming in and around and out.
And the cars are slowing down once again here at the Barrie Speedway in this feature. And there's a spin between corner 1 and 2. It's number 4, Bobby Courtright of New Jersey, and that brings the yellow caution lights on again. Evidently, we have that spin from Craig Hill's onboard camera. Craig, it's a dicey situation out there. What's happened?
Well, I think Bobby Courtright came in a little hot there, Bill. I don't know. It's slippery on the outside, but boy, he almost collected me and took me with him.
Thanks, Craig. We're about ready to restart, and here again is Diz.
The new order is Turnbull, Crawford, Stevie McKnight, Dave McKnight. And the track stewards have ruled that Steve McKnight passed under the yellow and therefore should not be in second but in third spot. No matter, because I think that he is so upset that he is really going to crowd Bobby Crawford until he finds his way through to the front of the pack.
In the meantime, his brother Dave McKnight is preparing to move past Steve, I would think. Boy, you're talking about a real family feud.
And there's our onboard camera again as Craig Hill, who is now behind number 2, Vince Cristiano. And as Cristiano is now past number 77, Hugh Funston, and Craig lines him up. Whoa! And takes him on around the corner number 3 on the outside groove. That's Cristiano and Brian Chris battling for that 8th spot, and Craig waiting to see what develops. He's just kind of hanging back there, coming into the corner. Now watch it. Here he is. He's going to make his move.
At the front of the pack, it's still number 31, Wayne Turnbull, who won the shootout and is pole position.
And Steve McKnight in car number 66 takes Crawford on the front chute right in front of the announcer's booth. And he's not content for second. He's shooting for the lead with Wayne Turnbull around corner 2. And yes, there's our new leader, Steve McKnight from Mississauga, Ontario, with Wayne Turnbull in second and Dave McKnight in third.
Well, older brother Dave is now challenging Wayne Turnbull for second. He's right up in his rear bumper, side by side through corners 1 and 2, and passes for second spot. Wow, you talk about team family racing. The McKnights have it. There's the order of racing right now. Steve McKnight, Dave McKnight, Wayne Turnbull third, Bob Crawford, Bruce Jones, Jim Muncie, and the others. Here's what Dave McKnight has to say about driving against Vince Cristiano.
The thing in this club is to finish a race, to get your points. If you can't finish a race, you're not going to get your points. And with Vinny, he's a very dependable driver. He's smooth. The car never breaks. He always stays together. And if he starts near the front or starts in the middle of the pack and you're behind him, to catch him is a fair job, fair amount of work. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes he seems to come out on top, and I seem to finish him behind him. But once I catch him, it's just mind games on the racetrack. He makes a mistake, I get by. I make a mistake, he gets by. And then you don't find him making too many mistakes with a veteran like Vinny, who's been driving 15, 20 years.
And here's a view of Craig Hill's car as he motors down the Barrie Speedway back straight. And look at those exhaust pipes, that wild purple color, which indicates that the engine is really overheating.
The yellow flag is out, and Craig is slowing down as he comes through corners 1 and 2. Let's see if we can talk to him. Craig, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can just hear you here now, Bill. I don't know what's happened. The thing was misfiring for a couple of laps. I think I've lost my ignition, but I'm not sure. I know it's not out of fuel, but boy, I just hope nobody runs into the back of me here for a second or two. I just wait till they cool out here a little bit, Bill. Anyways,
I guess the only thing I can say is are you disappointed?
Well, of course I'm disappointed. I think I could have got up near the front someplace. The car was working good. I don't know what's happened. It's a magneto or something, I guess.
Well, Craig is finished for the day. And with several cars retired, we'll be back with more TQ Midget Racing in a moment. Welcome back to Barrie Speedway for more of the Molson Superbowl of Midget Racing, presented by Burma Castrol Canada Limited. Our leader in the maroon number 66 Honda-powered Myers TQ is 22-year-old Steve McKnight. He's just ahead of his hard-charging brother Dave in the 06 Myers, and in third is number 22 Jim Muncie.
Dave McKnight is really pressuring his younger brother, and it looks like Stevie may have opened the door just a little too much and allowing 06 through. Yes, we have a new race leader, Dave McKnight, followed by number 66, Steve McKnight, 22, Jim Muncie, 23, Bobby Crawford, and 9X, Bruce Jones.
Boy, I'll tell you, you talk about rivalry. We talked to Steve McKnight earlier. I asked him the question, is there any brotherly love once you and Dave get on the track? And here's what he said.
None at all. In the garage, we work side by side. Here at the track, we work side by side. But when we get out on the track, it's every man for himself. I would never wreck him, and he would never wreck me. we just race really good. We have a good time together out there, right? But I wouldn't let him win if I was winning because he needed points, and he wouldn't do the same for me because that's not racing to us. We go out there and we go for it.
Just a young rookie. Father and brother have helped him out considerably, and he is learning the rudiments of TQ midget racing in great style. Now, there's the race order. Dave McKnight in first, brother Steve is second, Jim Muncie third, Bob Crawford fourth, Bruce Jones fifth, and Vince Cristiano is next. He's in sixth position. And we have 13 cars out of 22 still running. It's been a tough day on machinery, Diz.
It certainly has, Bill. All those cars run on that methanol fuel, which, as the racer says, it gives them a bigger bang for their buck. And those 820cc engines are really humming.
Well, these two brothers are really demonstrating what Steve McKnight just said. There is no brotherly love between them at the moment, as Steve tries every trick to get by his brother on this last lap. There's the white flag.
This has really turned into a family affair. Look at them go at each other. It should be interesting to see how Dave McKnight handles that slower traffic in front as Stevie goes a bit wide in corner 4. And that's it. Dave McKnight from Brampton, Ontario wins the Molson Superbowl of racing at Barrie Speedway.
And there are the final standings. First place, Dave McKnight. Steve McKnight second. Jim Muncie third. Crawford is fourth. Jones fifth. And Tim Nunney ends up in sixth place. Those were the cars that finished this grueling TQ midget encounter as we go down to the finish line with a comment from the race winner and Can-Am midget points leader, Dave McKnight. There's part of the crowd, and we're going to have some trophy presentations in just a couple seconds.
Great race, really. It was a tough one, as you said before, at the halftime.
Yeah, my brother was running really, really good. I didn't know if I was going to get him. I just kind of picked and chose and waited, and fortunately I got lucky, come a little high coming out of number 2 over there, and I was able to get under him, so I must say he drove a hell of a race, my brother. He's hard to get by, very hard.
Presenting the third place trophy to Jim Muncie from Scarborough, Ontario's Molson representative, Rob Rattray. And to Steve McKnight, a special prize along with second place trophy. For first place, Dave McKnight, the Molson trophy and the winner's share of the Super Bowl purse. So for Dizzy Dean Murray, this is Bill Inkle from Barrie Speedway in Ontario saying so long from the Molson Super Bowl of midget racing.